everyone, my name is Gabby and welcome to Diversifying Academia. Today we're going to be talking about 5 questions you should ask yourself before pursuing your PhD. Okay, so you're thinking of pursuing your PhD. Have you asked yourself why you want to pursue your PhD? I know I definitely did not when I was like, oh, I'm going to pursue my PhD. I did not have any reason as to why I should pursue my PhD. My freshman year, I was introduced to a research program that basically gave marginalized individuals the opportunity to work with faculty on their research projects. So I joined my sophomore year, and the goal of this program was for people to pursue their PhD. So this goal was blindly given to me, and I was like, okay, let me just do it. And so having that goal really helped me in undergrad, but I still never really questioned it until senior year when I actually had to apply and really think about how I wanted my future to look. So that brings me to my first question. What do you want your future to look like? For me, in undergrad, I kept telling myself that I wanted to be a clinical psychologist. It was not until my late junior year, early senior year, where I realized this isn't actually what I want to do. What I want to do is work with children in schools, and that aligned more with a goal of being a school psychologist. So that's what I pursued instead. Another reason why I chose the PhD route was I wanted to be involved in research, especially as a school psychologist. Being a school psychologist with a PhD allows me to be a professor, conduct research, and work in schools and have my own practice. This leads me into my second question. Do you like research? I had to ask myself this 20 million times in my undergrad career because a PhD is so research intensive. If you don't like research, you're gonna absolutely hate your life because that is all you're gonna be doing for the next 5 to 8 years and even after. Of course, after you'll have more options, but they really focus on research in a PhD program. So during my junior and senior year, I was really considering grad school and what degree I wanted. So it was between a PhD and a Ph.D. A Ph.D. being extremely clinical and practice focused, while a PhD has a lot of research that goes into getting that degree. So I really considered what did I want my future to look like and if I really liked research. And of course, here I am. I'm getting my PhD now, so I do like research. I really do like it, and I always have research questions. I'm always trying to think of new ways we can improve society when it comes to mental health. So definitely consider if you like research. Also, if you're an undergrad and you're like a freshman and sophomore, I highly recommend getting involved in research. You might start freshman and sophomore year, and when you get to your senior year, you're like, wow, I really didn't like that experience. And that's good, but you can still have that experience on your resume or your CV that looks good for future jobs and programs. So I highly recommend getting involved early so that you know by the time you get to your junior or senior year, this is what I want to do. Another question to ask yourself is if you can do what you want to do in the future with a different degree. So there's a lot of routes when it comes to psychology specifically that you can do it with a master's degree. So for example, what I want to do is be a school psychologist, and you can do that with a master's degree, but I also want to engage in research. I want to be a professor, and I want to be an expert in the field to contribute to high quality research that's going into our school system. So that is what really pushed me to go from my master's to my PhD. So when it comes to wanting to be a clinical psychologist, you do need a doctorate. You need a PhD or a Ph.D. You can't just practice with a master's. You can't be a professor. You can contribute to research as a master's student if it's with your professor, but there are a lot of cutoffs when it comes to just getting your master's in psychology. You definitely want to go all the way if you want to be a clinical psychologist. Okay, my fourth question. Are you doing it just for the title? And you think of a PhD, you're like, wow, that person is getting their PhD. They're gonna be a doctor. I'm gonna be a doctor one day. It's very exciting. And you're like, oh yes, I love the idea of being a doctor, or I love having that title. But it's more than that. This is literally the rest of your life, especially 5 to 8 years of school, loans, everything in between to get a title. It's more than that. And for me, I was like, I want to be an expert. I want to know as much as I possibly can about this subject so I can help other people. And that is what really brought me to my PhD. The title is definitely there, and it's not something you can just ignore. Like, it's a very serious thing. You're gonna be a doctor, you're gonna be the top 1% of the country. You gotta make sure you have to have other reasons when it comes to this kind of stuff. Okay, my fifth and final question. Do you have enough experience to apply? So when it comes to applying to a PhD program, you spend like 3 to 4 months applying, revising personal statements, statement of purposes, getting your transcripts in. It's a lot that goes into it. So maybe your senior year, you don't have enough research or you don't have the grades. Do you want to pursue your master's or do you want to pursue your PhD? I would personally recommend that you pursue your master's first to get your grades right, your research, make sure you know what you want to do before you actually apply to PhD programs, because PhD programs are expensive. All applications are expensive, especially when it comes to grad school. So making sure that you have everything you need before you actually go on and apply is really beneficial for you. I'll definitely cover the master's route versus the PhD route after undergrad, because that is something that I also struggled with when trying to figure out like my grad school situation. So back to like applying, if I have enough experience, do I have everything I need to apply? I would recommend having your research ready, having the grades that you need, having the why of why you want to do it, and what it is you want to actually pursue with your PhD. So those are like 5 questions into that last question. But yeah, so making sure you have everything I talked about. I know like there's so many questions you can ask yourself before getting your PhD, but I just covered 5 of like the main ones, I think, especially that I asked myself before pursuing my PhD, that I hope can help you too. So thank you for watching my video on 5 questions you should ask yourself before pursuing your PhD. I really hope this helped you, and if you have any questions, I'm always open to questions, comments, concerns, or anything you have. You can reach me on my Instagram, you can reach me in the comments, whatever you like. I'll probably cover master's versus PhD route next, and what you should expect with both of those. So thank you for watching my video. Please like, subscribe, and do all that good stuff, and I hope you enjoy life.